Meal prep is boring if you don't do it right. Today I'm going to show you a dish that I like to make when I'm short on time, staying within a budget. It's macro friendly, it tastes delicious, and it can be meal prepped if you'd like to. Now for starters, I'm just going to make a simple mash with sweet potato and regular potato. I have one medium-ish potato here. I'm just going to peel off the skin. And you can save all of these skins, roast them up in the oven with a little bit of oil and salt. You get those really nice crispy potato skins. Just a little snack as you're going really, but it's up to you. As well as the sweet potato, we can peel 2 normal potatoes or all-rounder potatoes. You can roast these up with the sweet potato skins as well. That's completely fine. Now with the regular potatoes, these can just be sliced in half and then roughly chopped. Just make sure they're all the same size. And with the sweet potato, just slice it in half. It's going to make things a lot easier to work with. Into quarters, and then just go through and roughly chop it up. Pretty much the same size as those white potatoes. That way everything's going to cook right. When they're all chopped up, just get them going into a saucepan or a pot. Fill them up with cold water, and we want to cover these by about 1 inch. Place them onto your stovetop, whack them over a high heat. Season the water with a little bit of salt, and then bring these up to a boil. In the meantime, we'll make a compound butter, and we're going to do a chimichurri flavor. This isn't your most traditional chimichurri, it is extremely simple, but what we're going to need is 5 grams or 0.2 ounces of flat leaf parsley. Just give this a rough chop. A little bit of stem in there is completely fine. Just break it down as much as you can. Just make sure there is really no large leaves or stems. What you're really looking for is something like that. Grate 1 clove of garlic along a microplane to create a paste. Can also roughly chop the garlic if you prefer. And I know I do always grate garlic on a microplane. You really are going to get the best flavor out of it this way. Add 50 grams or 1.7 ounces of unsalted butter to a bowl. This also has been left on the bench to come to room temperature. Add in the chopped parsley, the grated garlic, 1 teaspoon or 5 milliliters of red wine vinegar, roughly half a teaspoon of chili flakes. Add in a touch of salt, a little bit of cracked black pepper, and then mix all of this around, just squash it all down, compress it all in there. And I know some of you might be thinking, why have I just added salt to unsalted butter? Why not just use salted butter? You can control the seasoning a lot better and use better quality ingredients. Once that's all mixed through nicely, what we can do is place this in the fridge. You can also wrap this up and roll it into a log and then freeze it. And then once it's fully set, you can slice it into rings. That's what we do in restaurants anyway. But for this one, I'm just gonna place it in the fridge to firm it up. Now going back to the potatoes, that water is at a boil. Let them cook down for about 22 to 25 minutes or until they're completely fork tender and just falling apart. Carefully remove them from the stovetop and we can drain these through a colander. Add the potatoes into a bowl. Add in 80 grams or 2.8 ounces of Greek yogurt, a tablespoon of olive oil, a touch of salt, but we'll adjust the seasoning in a second. And then start mixing this all together, breaking up the potatoes. If they're not breaking down too much, you can use a potato masher, a ricer, just do whatever you need to do. I'm gonna leave this one a little bit more chunky, just makes it a little bit more rustic. The important part is to just taste it, adjust if it needs a little bit of salt. I'm gonna add a little bit of cracked black pepper here. You can also use ground pepper if you prefer. Mix that all one last time, and that right there is a very simple, quick and easy mash. Now what we're going to do is place a pan over a medium heat, add in a touch of oil, and while that pan is still heating up, crack in 2 eggs. As for cooking times on this, all we need is about 2 to 3 minutes to achieve that perfect egg, or a little bit longer if you like those crispy edges. Now with these eggs, I'm more than happy that these are perfect. That egg white has set perfectly around the yolk. This one right here is just a little bit more soft, but as we pull it off, it's going to continue cooking off the heat. Now for the steak, I'm using a 200 gram or 7 ounce Scotch fillet, also known as ribeye or bone off ribeye. Dress this up with a little bit of oil as well as a nice amount of salt on both sides, making sure that you spread it around and evenly coat. Place a pan over a high heat and get this smoking hot, then add in the steak. I'm using a weight to make sure that it sits flat on the surface the whole time, that way we can get an even crust. Sear this for about 2.5 minutes until that golden crust has formed, and then flip it over. To build even more crust, we can then add in some butter and allow it to melt, and while it is melting, spoon it over to baste the steak. This is just going to help increase flavor and create a better crust. Continue searing for about 2 minutes or until the steak is cooked to your liking. I'm going for a medium rare for this one. Pull it from the heat, allow it to rest for about 5 minutes, and then we can slice this up, going against the grain to break down the muscle fibers and get a more relaxed, tender steak. In a bowl, place down the mash, using it as a bed to then rest the steak over the top. All of those juices are going to go into the mash and make it even more flavoursome. And we can add over some of those resting juices as well as a little bit of that butter for even more flavour. Add on the eggs just off to the side and then a nice spoonful of the chimichurri butter on top. Garnish with a little bit of flat leaf parsley, which is completely optional, and some cracked black pepper. And what that leaves us with is this creamy mash, a perfectly seared steak, chimichurri butter, as well as those 2 fried eggs. And just look how good that egg yolk looks. And with everything said and done, there's only one thing left to do, and that is we can then dig in. This is everything you want from a dish. It's a little bit sweet, salty, and acidic. You've got the butter that melts into the steak, then the steak that melts into the mash, just extending all of the flavor. And then the eggs, so just a nice little touch on the side. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit that like button, leave a comment, and let me know what you want to see next, and subscribe, along with hitting the bell notification next to it so you never miss when I upload. Thanks for watching.